Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really checked the back of your fridge? I mean, beyond grabbing the milk or that leftover soup. When was the last time you actually took a good, hard look at what's been sitting there, quietly, silently, just waiting? Because I'll tell you something most people don't realize. In almost every home I've visited, especially where there are seniors, there's always that one thing in the fridge that could kill. Yeah, kill. Not just make someone sick, not just give them a little stomach bug. I'm talking about the stuff that looks harmless, tastes familiar. But for an elderly loved one, that one bite, that one sip, could mean a trip to the ER, or worse, a call you never wanted to receive. But the worst part? You might have bought it yourself, or maybe you didn't stop them from eating it because you thought, it's just food, what harm could it possibly do? But listen to me. As we get older, and as the people we love age, the body stops playing by the same rules. The gut gets weaker. The heart, more fragile. The brain, more sensitive than you'd think. That same food you ate without blinking when you were 30 could destroy an elderly person's system today. So ask yourself this. What's in your fridge right now that could be hurting your mother? Your father? Your grandparent? Are you sure it's safe, or are you just hoping it is? Because let me be blunt, hoping isn't a strategy. And if you're watching this thinking, this won't happen to me, not my family, I'm gonna need you to sit tight. Because by the time we're done, you're gonna be thinking completely differently about every single item you keep chilled behind that door. And you're going to wish you knew this sooner. But I'll warn you, some of these will surprise you. Some will make you mad. And some of you might even rush to your fridge in the middle of this video, and honestly, you should. Because one overlooked jar, one bottle, one container could be the silent reason you see your loved one's health spiraling. And if you think I'm exaggerating, stick around. I'm going to show you 10 foods you probably have in your fridge right now that should never be near a senior. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. And don't just sit there watching passively. If you're serious about protecting the people you love, you need to subscribe to this channel, Elderly Spring. Because the truth is, this stuff, it's not common sense, and what you don't know will hurt you or someone you love. And if you refuse to subscribe, I'm begging you, go to the comments right now and tell us why. Why you think protecting your loved ones isn't worth one click. I'd love to hear that logic. Go ahead. But for those who actually care, comment "I'm here" below. That tells me you're ready to open your eyes and finally make your fridge a safe place. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what foods to throw away and what to replace them with to help your loved ones not just live longer, but live healthier, happier, and stronger. So, ready to find out what's really hiding in your fridge? Let's get into it. Because I want you to picture this. You're walking to your fridge right now. You pull open that door, and staring right back at you is danger disguised as dinner. One, processed meats. Now tell me if this sounds familiar. Grandpa wakes up every morning, shuffles into the kitchen, and what does he grab? A few strips of bacon, maybe some ham or sausages, because that's his tradition. It's how he started his day since the 60s, and you think to yourself, well, he's always eaten that, he'll be fine. But let me ask you this, is that a fact or just hope? Because here's the brutal truth. That bacon, that ham, those sausages, they're packed with nitrates and nitrites, chemical preservatives that have been linked to a staggering 18% increase in cancer risk. That's not speculation, that's science. And if your loved one is already battling high blood pressure, heart issues, or digestion problems, that morning plate is a loaded gun. People love to say, oh, it's just a little bacon. But for seniors, their body doesn't process these chemicals the same way anymore. What was just a treat is now a threat. Instead, help them swap it out. Fresh turkey slices, lean chicken breast, even plant-based alternatives that are rich in protein but don't come with that side of risk. Because that sizzling bacon isn't worth the emergency room visit. And if you think meat is the only danger, wait until I tell you what's hiding inside that innocent-looking bottle of salad dressing on the fridge door. 2. Store-bought salad dressings. You've seen it. Your aunt says she's trying to eat healthier, right? So what does she do? She stocks up on Caesar, Ranch, Thousand Island, all those creamy, tangy dressings. But here's what nobody tells you. These dressings are crammed with trans fats, excessive sodium, and hidden sugars. It's a recipe for disaster. Imagine trying to unclog an artery and then pouring liquid grease right back into your system. That's what's happening. And the worst part? People think, well, it's just a bit on my salad. Salads are healthy. Yeah, but not when the dressing is turning it into a heart attack on a plate. Want a better option? Simple. Olive oil, a splash of vinegar, squeeze a bit of lemon, maybe toss in some herbs. Not only is it healthier, it actually wakes up the flavors in your food. Now, before you pat yourself on the back for skipping the dressing, let me ask you, when's the last time you checked that block of cheese sitting quietly on the shelf? 3. Hard cheeses. I'm talking cheddar, Gouda, Parmesan. They've got that rich, sharp taste that Grandma loves with her crackers every evening. But here's the thing, that cheese, it's loaded with saturated fat and sodium, and for Grandma, that's a double punch to the heart, literally. It hikes up cholesterol. It feeds inflammation in her joints, worsening arthritis pain. Yet people will say, but dairy is good for bones, right? Wrong, not when it's piled high in fats that clog arteries and fuel joint pain. Instead, reach for low-fat ricotta, cottage cheese, or even almond-based cheese alternatives. Same creaminess, none of the guilt or the danger. And speaking of guilty pleasures, tell me, what's that soda bottle doing on the top shelf? 4. Sugary soft drinks pop. Soda, cola, whatever you call it, it's nothing short of a sweet poison for seniors. You take one sip, and that sugar hits the bloodstream like a lightning bolt, spiking blood sugar levels, which is catastrophic for anyone with prediabetes or diabetes. But there's more. The phosphates in sodas actually weaken bones over time, making falls and fractures much more likely. And don't fall for the diet versions. Artificial sweeteners may keep the sugar low, but studies are now linking them to faster cognitive decline in older adults. So what's the solution? Infused water. Toss in some cucumber slices, a handful of berries, or mint leaves. It's refreshing, hydrating, and safe. But don't leave the kitchen just yet, because that leftover deli salad you bought last week, yeah, we need to talk. 5 deli salads, that macaroni salad, that coleslaw. Potato salad sitting in a plastic container. You open it, it smells fine, so you think, hey, it's still good. But let me tell you what you're not seeing. Bacteria. Specifically, listeria. And it thrives in these creamy, mayo-laden salads even in the fridge. Listeria might barely affect a young person, but a senior, it can lead to sepsis, brain infections, or worse. And guess what? Seniors' immune systems are simply not equipped to fight back. Here's a safer route. Make your own salads at home with olive oil-based dressings. They last longer, they're cleaner, and you control every ingredient. And while we're talking about jars and containers, have you checked that jar of pickles or olives sitting in brine? 6. Pickles fermented foods. Now Uncle Joe swears by his daily pickles, says it's good for the gut. But what he doesn't realize is that most store-bought pickles are drenched in sodium. Sodium leads to high blood pressure. High blood pressure leads to strokes. Strokes lead to lives changed forever. All from something that tastes salty and crunchy. Don't get me wrong, fermentation is great, but not when the salt content could spike your loved one's blood pressure overnight. Low-sodium pickles, or better yet, make them at home. That way, you know exactly how much salt is in every bite. And speaking of treats, let's be real. What's that tub of ice cream still doing in the freezer? 7. Ice cream frozen desserts. Grandma's nightly ice cream. It's a ritual, right? Something to look forward to after dinner. But that ice cream is a cocktail of high sugar, saturated fat, and artificial flavors, all perfectly engineered to taste amazing and silently harm. We're talking increased risk of dementia, type 2 diabetes, and dangerous weight gain that can sap the energy right out of them. You don't have to ban treats. Swap ice cream for frozen yogurt, or better yet, freeze bananas and blend them into a creamy, sweet dessert. Zero guilt, zero threat. And since we're already peeking in the freezer, How long has that frozen pizza been sitting there? 8. Frozen processed meals. Frozen pizza, ready-made lasagna, microwave dinners. Quick, convenient, and deadly for seniors. They're packed with preservatives, sky-high sodium, and trans fats. Sure, it saves time, but what's the cost? Stroke, heart attack, kidney strain? Instead, prep your own meals in batches. Freeze them in portions. You control the salt, the ingredients, and the love that goes into every bite. Now let's move to the back of the fridge. That expired yogurt or suspicious tub? Let's talk. Mycin 9. Expired dairy products yogurt, sour cream, even milk. You might think, hey, it's just a little expired. What's the worst that could happen? Well, food poisoning for one. But in seniors, it's not just a bad stomach. It can lead to dehydration, hospitalization, even death in extreme cases. Always check the date, and if you're ever unsure, toss it. It's not worth the gamble. And last, but certainly not least, those fruit juices sitting on the door rack. 10. Pre-packaged fruit juices. You pick up that carton of orange juice thinking it's healthy. After all, it says 100% juice, right? But what it doesn't say is that it's loaded with concentrated sugars, stripped of fiber, and spikes blood sugar just like a soda would. Better option? Freshly squeezed juice, or better yet, eat the whole fruit. Fiber slows sugar absorption and helps regulate digestion. Now I bet you're looking at your fridge a little differently now, aren't you? And if you're not, if you're still sitting there thinking, hey, it's fine, then you're braver than I'll ever be. Or maybe just more careless. And if you refuse to subscribe to Elderly Spring after knowing all this, you know what? I want you in the comments. Tell me why you'd rather roll the dice with your loved one's life than hit that little red button. But for those who know better, subscribe, because I've got even more life-saving tips coming, and trust me, you'll want to be prepared. Now, let's talk about the emotional weight behind these choices, because it's heavier than you think. I know this isn't easy to hear, because no one wants to think that the same fridge where you keep the Sunday dinner leftovers, the birthday cake, the family barbecue sauces, that same fridge could be silently working against the very people you love the most. It feels unfair, doesn't it? You look at your mom, your dad, your grandparents, you just want them to be happy. You want them to enjoy their comforts, their little indulgences, because after everything they've done, don't they deserve that? But here's the thing no one likes to admit. Sometimes love means saying no. Sometimes love looks like throwing things away. Sometimes love means being the bad guy in the moment, to be the savior in the long run. Because what's more loving, letting grandma have that nightly bowl of ice cream, knowing it's clogging her arteries, or swapping it out for something safer so she can see her great-grandkids grow up? What's more loving? Letting grandpa crack open that soda every afternoon, or handing him a glass of cucumber water because you want his heart to keep beating strong. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to wake you up. Because the truth is, every item you toss from that fridge, every jar, every bottle, every carton you choose to replace, it's not just food, it's a chance. A chance for more conversations, more birthdays, more stories around the table. You're not just cleaning a fridge, you're preserving memories yet to be made. And listen, I get it. This might feel overwhelming. You might be looking at that list of 10 dangerous foods and thinking, what's even left to eat? But don't see this as a restriction, see it as empowerment. You're not taking away pleasures, you're trading them for time. You're trading them for vitality, for laughter that doesn't get cut short by a hospital stay. Imagine this. Imagine the relief of knowing that your loved one isn't just surviving, but actually thriving. Waking up with more energy, moving without pain, remembering your face without the fog of cognitive decline. That's what this is about. So here's what I want you to do right now. After this video, don't wait. Take just 15 minutes to check your fridge. 15 minutes, that's it. Because one quick sweep through those shelves could be the very thing that prevents a heart attack, a stroke, or an infection you never saw coming. It's a small effort with a massive reward. Because at the end of the day, caring for our elders, it's not just about saying I love you, it's about showing it through action, through vigilance, through choices that say, I want you here longer. We can't stop time, but we can make the time we have richer, stronger, healthier. We can't undo the past, but we sure as hell can shape the future. So let's do this together. Let's protect the ones who protected us. Let's make sure their final years aren't spent in and out of hospital beds, but in the arms of family, surrounded by love and filled with life. Because caring is more than love. It's vigilance. And together, we're not just watching them age. We're making sure they age well. That's the promise we make when we choose to care. Let's take a moment to recap everything we've uncovered today, because I don't want you to forget a single one of these hidden dangers. First, processed meats. That bacon, ham, those sausages, they might taste good, but for seniors they're a slow-acting poison. Then we have store-bought salad dressings. They might make that salad creamy and flavorful, but they're sneaking in fats and sugars that harden arteries and weigh down the heart. Hard cheeses, cheddar, Gouda, Parmesan, delicious? Sure. But they quietly fuel cholesterol and inflammation that nobody needs in their later years. And of course, sugary soft drinks. The fizzy friend that's really an enemy, sending blood sugar sky high and bones crumbling slowly but surely. Next, deli salads. That macaroni salad or coleslaw from the store shelf. That's listeria just waiting for its chance. A deadly game of roulette in a plastic tub. We can't forget high-sodium pickles and fermented foods. Yes, some fermentation is good, but not when it's drowning in salt that wrecks the heart's rhythm. Then there's ice cream and frozen desserts. Sweet comfort, yes, but also sweet destruction, especially for the mind and metabolism. Frozen processed meals, those quick fixes that fix nothing but instead pave the path to strokes and heart attacks with every bite. Expired dairy, milk, yogurt, sour cream that's just a little off. It's not a little off, it's a ticking time bomb for food poisoning, especially for fragile elders. And finally, pre-packaged fruit juices. The cartons that promise vitamins but deliver sugar spikes that your body doesn't want, especially not at 70, 80, or 90 years old. That's the deadly 10. 10 foods that might be sitting quietly in your fridge right now, looking innocent, until they're not. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these foods shocked you the most? Was it the pickles, the yogurt, the juices you thought were healthy? Go to the comments right now and tell me. What's hiding in your fridge that you're embarrassed to admit? And if you're bold enough, tell me which of these you're going to throw out first. And let me say this. If you've learned even one new thing today, if you've realized there's even one item in your kitchen that could be quietly hurting someone you love, why would you walk away from this without subscribing? Seriously, if this video made you think differently, hit that subscribe button to Elderly Spring right now. Because the next video might just be the one that saves a life, and it could be someone you care about deeply. And if you're still hesitating, go ahead. Comment why you refuse to subscribe. I want to understand the logic behind choosing ignorance over action. Don't just sit there, say it with your chest in the comments. But if you're with me, if you believe that protecting our elders is worth it, subscribe, stay with us. We've got more life-saving tips coming your way. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. Let's keep our loved ones safe. Let's keep them happy. Let's help them thrive, not just live. This is Elderly Spring, where caring isn't just a feeling, it's a commitment. I'll see you in the next one.